radio station playing the best hip-hop, urban, Afro, and R&B on 99 FM.
99 FM.
When we look at the size of our businesses, we often think of SMEs as almost startups and very small businesses.
Right. And after that, we'll be diving into a discussion about the domestic tourism sector in Namibia.
So for more than 35 years, we've been trying to put Namibia on the map, and I think we have succeeded. We've come a long way.
In the news tonight, City of Windhoek secures 155 million Namibian dollar loan for new power substation to avoid load shedding.
The International University of Management, a Namibian university dedicated to its people's future, a hub of abundant opportunities.
We are IUM for life. We are IUM.
Welcome to News on 1. I'm Maggie Forciedo. In the news tonight, police arrest struggle kids for locking Veterans Ministry entrance. Ours primary school ends double shift system. More awareness needed on diseases between animals and humans. Namibia rolls out 10 billion Namibia dollars water supply system. And Business on 1 comments corner, sport and the weather. The children of the liberation struggle returned to the Ministry of Defence and Veterans Affairs this morning and locked the ministry's entrance, preventing staff members from accessing the office. As a result, 3 group members, who are now known as dependents of living or deceased veterans, were arrested by the Namibian police force after they ignored orders to vacate the premises. The group allegedly locked the entrance, citing that the ministry staff were not fulfilling their duties following a request to register them under the ministry.
Members of the dependents of living or deceased veterans were determined to disrupt operations at the Veterans Ministry's office this morning, following weeks of not receiving a favorable answer from the ministry on their demands, which includes registration as beneficiaries under the ministry. News on 1 caught up with the members at the Windhoek police station after 3 group leaders were arrested for attempting to forcefully lock the office with chains, thereby denying the workers of the ministry entry.
The questions we are asking, they are not answered. The minister is never around. We just found ourselves losing 5 members of a group and a child that is a year and 2 months arrested. We don't know why, because they didn't have any weapons and they didn't insult anyone. We were blocked at the door waiting for the minister to give us answers, but they don't want. We can give them freedom for workers to work freely, because we have been asking for answers peacefully, but we are not getting them.
As I'm standing here, I am hurt and I'm crying because of the 5 members and a child who is 1 year and 2 months are arrested. We do not know why they were arrested, and now we are standing in front of the police station in town. Is it because we want to change from the youth ministry to veteran, or is it because of quotas, the land we want, or is it because of our funds? Why are they arresting us? We are not feeling well. We are crying. Before our members are released and our 1-year-old child is released, we will leave the police station.
Khoma's Police Regional Crime Investigation Coordinator, Deputy Commissioner Crispin Muvevo, confirmed that the police had to use force to disperse the crowd and that 3 of the group members were arrested on charges of contravening public gathering.
They went at the Ministry of Veterans and they managed to lock the building so that the people, they did not have access to the building. And we had to cut the locks and the chains which they used in order for the ministry staff to enter. And while we were busy monitoring, we allowed them to actually to express their concerns and be there. And while they were there, they closed the door that nobody must enter, including the whole ministry staff should not go out or go out of the building, go inside the building. Yes, we managed to apprehend some. We apprehended 2 males and 1 female, of which they are going to be charged for contravening the Public Gathering Act.
The Acting Deputy Director for Policy Research and Registration Services in the Ministry of Defence and Veteran Affairs, Timotheus Mashuna, condemned the actions of the dependents of living or deceased veterans, stating that obstruction made it difficult for them to perform their daily duties.
There are data deals, and then there are Telecom Namibia data deals. And if you want the biggest data deal of all, you gotta get 31-day Jiva, which comes with a massive 50 gigs of data. Is it even possible to use 50 gigs of data in a month? You tell us. You also get 1,000 voice minutes and 400 SMSs. To get your hands on 31-day Jiva, dial star 130 star 780 hash and enjoy a month of mega data. Whoa, that's a lot of data, minutes and SMS. How much is that? Must be expensive. No, it's only 185 Namibian dollars excluding VAT. T's and C's apply. Telecom Namibia.
Sharing your world.
After the construction of new classrooms, the Hours Primary School in Karatura, Windhoek, which for decades had a double shift system, decided to end it. This comes after a donation by the Debmarie Namdeb Foundation that constructed a block of 4 classrooms, which will allow all the learners to attend classes in the morning.
The new 4 classrooms, a storeroom and an ablution facility handed over by the Debmarie Namdeb Foundation was constructed in 6 months at a total cost of 2.5 million Namibia dollars. The donation brings to an end the platoon system, which, according to the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture, led to some learners performing poorly. The double session system is where some pupils attend classes in the morning while the rest attend the afternoon.
The grade 3 learners of this school, I was informed they are, most affected grade who attended this double shift system. And our experience has taught us that these learners, if I look at at the curriculum we are having now, from pre-primary, you have 25. The ideal system is pre-primary must only have 25 learners for the teacher really to manage and lay the foundation. And the primary now starting grade 1, 2, up to 3, they must be there. If they are too many, not exceed 35. But what we have in our classroom, 40 and above. This is not the situation we want.
The acting school principal, Lorraine Mutunimie, stated that the donations that the school has received over the years from donors in the form of classrooms has led to improvements in the school infrastructure, but some challenges still remain.
This was done by the fact that number of learners was increasing and created a shortage of space for learners. And also the school was in the afternoon platoon system, which made learners for us the school to have 2 sessions, the morning session and the afternoon session. So the ministry wanted to keep away or to get rid of the platoon system. That's why today we are here.
The acting executive director in the Ministry of Mines and Energy, Brian Aseb, noted that their decision to build classrooms at Hours Primary School was based on the fact that the school had a platoon system.
Second aspect that I would like to highlight is the impact that this initiative had, Brian, you and your team. You perhaps look at it simply as a classroom that you have built, or a block of classrooms that you have built. But in essence, what you have done is to restore and advance the dignity of the Namibian child, because no Namibian child should be exposed to the dangers of a platoon system. Our children should be able to come to school at the right time and leave at the right time, so that our parents can also have peace of mind that my child is not alone at home or left in the care of somebody else, which in most cases is not a relative.
The learners were urged to maintain, protect and not vandalize the classrooms. Ours Primary School will turn 54 years old this year. It has a staff capacity of 42 teachers and a student population of 1,378.
The Africa Centre for Disease Control has called for communities to be sensitized on the importance of zoonoses, which are diseases that can be transmitted from animals to humans. This was said by the Public Health Officer from the Africa CDC, Yaya Kande, at the last day of the One Health Advocacy and Capacity Building Workshop in Windhoek on zoonotic disease surveillance for early detection.
As a way forward, Kande stated that a draft national document has been put in place for the country following the workshop. This document will assist in addressing zoonosis diseases, and once the document has been consolidated, validated and launched, rigorous sensitization will be carried out. Kande stresses that both aspects of human and animal health should be taken into account when addressing zoonotic diseases.
We are going to do a sensitization so that even those at the community level are going to understand the importance of One Health, the importance of zoonosis. It's not only when your child is sick that you take the child to the hospital, but also if your cow is sick, or if your horse is sick, or if you're any other, even your pet, if they are sick, you definitely have to have the same feeling, the same way when humans are sick, because at the end of the day there could be that ripple effect, knowing that this animal is okay, just an animal, you are going to ignore about it, and you also see that in most cases when we are with an animal and the animal is sick, that's the time you say, okay, let's kill this animal because probably it is about to die, not knowing that animal is sick. You kill that animal, you eat it, then at the end of the day you get a zoonotic diseases. Now you keep on wondering, where did I get this disease, not knowing that it was from the animal that you have been interacting.
In addition, the Deputy Director of Epidemiology Division within the Ministry of Health and Social Services, Iyalo Maningange, said that if the ecosystem is disturbed, it can negatively impact human health, and this is evident with the COVID-19 outbreak and Congo fever.
The ecosystem, if it's disturbed, either in the wildlife or in the environment, can affect the production of domestic animal that we rely on, and it can also negatively impact on human health. So the entire ecosystem within the environment, within animals, interaction with plants, if it's disturbed, we have seen it with the current epidemics. We know that even with COVID-19, it's emanating from interaction with wildlife. Coming closer home, we know that Congo Crimean hemorrhagic fever, when it affects humans, it's because it's emanating from interaction with domestic animal and interaction of domestic animal with the vector in the environment.
The Deputy Minister of Health and Social Services, Esther Mwinyangwe, stated that as the world enters the fourth year of COVID-19, it is important that Namibia adopts the One Health approach to strengthen the country's health systems. She called for increased awareness and broad recognition of the importance of One Health.
And there is one thing we all love to do, to gather around an open fire in a space that breaks down the barriers and walls between us and connects us to each other. We love to braai.
ultimate Primaster. Coming to One Africa this February 26th. From 6:30 p.m., we're serving up good times, delicious food, and ice-cold Coke. A recipe for magic.
The Minister of Agriculture, Water and Land Reform has stated that due to a recent boom in mining activities countrywide, bulk water supply up to the year 2037 will cost a little over 10 billion Namibia dollars. The Minister, Kali Schledwijn, stated that this amount may increase by 6 to 7% annually due to operational costs and inflation rates.
Schledwijn said the recent boom in mining activities at the coast will cause water demands to almost double over the next 5 years. He explained that Namibia is currently rolling out a $10 billion water sector support program, which will be integrated to supply bulk water countrywide.
In addition, the number of weather and climate-related disasters increased by a factor of 5 over the past 50 years, driven by anthropogenic climate change and causing more extreme weather events. Namibia is at a locality on the globe which is prone by erratic weather patterns, and the predictions are that that is going to increase. When it is dry, it will be drier. When it is wet, it will be wetter. Notably, water resources are under increasing pressure due to demographic, economic and social climatic changes, as well as ever-growing global demand for energy and food and water. Better management of water resources requires strengthened transboundary cooperation, application of water diplomacy tools, climate-proof security policies and improved water governance. The effectively addressing these challenges, we need to come up with new ideas and approaches at regional and international level.
Schledwijn explained that the supply system will be made up of water generation, desalination and distribution infrastructure that will ensure safe and accessible water supply until the year 2037. Schledwijn said water governance therefore needs to be improved, as water sources are not political boundaries but rather a shared transboundary essential need.
Since rivers, lakes and oceans and aquifers are not political or community boundaries, we need to move away from old practices of monitoring and managing these vital resources on a fragmented and isolated basis. There is an urgent need to improve monitoring by satellites and more extensive ground-based sensors, and improvement in early warnings for all disaster management.
The minister stressed that there is an urgent need for improved water monitoring by satellite to better manage water resources as well as disasters that affect them.
Swipe on it and win! Come bank with us and stand a chance to win the grand prize of an eco-friendly hybrid vehicle or one of 40 fuel vouchers worth 40,000 Namibian dollars.
Full tank, believe.
To enter, simply make any purchase using your Bankmantic Visa debit or credit card between the 1st of October 2022 and the 31st of March 2023. With your Bankmantic Visa card in hand, let's journey together with every swipe. Visit bankmantic.com.na for more information. Protect yourself against fraud and never share your PIN. T's and C's apply. Bankmantic, a member of Capricorn Group.
Welcome to this evening's edition of Business on One. The Institute of Chartered Accountants of Namibia, ICANN, and the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, CIMA, have entered into an agreement that will enable their members to use both the Chartered Accountant Namibia CA-NAM and Chartered Global Management Accountant CGMA designations. The 5-year dual designation will set ICANN members apart and afford the benefits that come with the status of CA-NAM. The Institute of Chartered Accountants of Namibia, ICANN, is responsible for promoting the interests of its members and the accounting profession as a whole. Recently, it entered into a membership pathway agreement with the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, or CIMA. The Chief Executive Officer of ICANN, Fanny Ngekevali, elaborates on what led to the partnership.
Firstly, we saw the demand. We had quite a few members of the public and ICANN members that approached us and said, how about we consider CIMA as a professional body and entering into a partnership with them. We also did an annual survey last year in which we tried to identify the need of entering into a international professional body, and CIMA was actually the one that was identified. Then, of course, we realized actually after we did a little bit of homework that, the conversation is going to be easy because our sister institute also in South Africa has more or less a similar agreement. And because we share a similar competency framework and a similar journey to becoming chartered accountants with our sister institute, the South African Institute of Chartered Accountants, the conversation was quite easy.
Ngekevali said ICANN members looking to acquire the CGMA designation will be exempted from 15 of CIMA's 16 CGMA examinations.
What this agreement means, it's a membership pathway agreement. So what we're trying to aim is to offer a dual designation for our members, meaning that if you are an ICANN member and you carry the CA-NAM brand behind your name and you want to become a CIMA member, all you need to do is you need to write 2 exams, well, 1 exam actually, and the one is just a preparation for the final exam, and you're actually exempted from writing 15 of CIMA's 16 exams. So there is actually that benefit that flows from this agreement. Also what it means is that once you then become a CIMA member, you have to adhere to their requirements, their professional development requirements, any procedures that lead to investigation or discipline. So you will basically be in their territory as well and not only be governed and mandated by the institute. And that means the same reciprocal. If a CIMA member would like to carry the CA-NAM designation and enter into our community as ICANN members, then you'll be exempted from the first professional qualifying examination, which we call the initial test of competence. You'll be exempted from that. However, you will still need to do a preparation course and then also a taxation case study, which is quite unique to Namibia, to be in line with Namibian tax. And then our final professional exam, which is the assessment of professional competence.
And that is all we have for you. Be sure to follow us on our social media pages for more on business news.
Matching sets in their favorite colors? Give your little ones a winter wardrobe to remember with Pep. Comfy and warm babies tracksuits, only $69.99. Younger kids tracksuits, just $89.99. Mix and match to keep them looking cool all winter. Life's better with Pep.
Now look at Comments Corner, your daily dose of comments from our social media pages. Former forklift driver at the Namibia Breweries Limited, Reynold Wilson, is demanding that his former employer compensate him after he was diagnosed with a medical condition that he says was caused by the heavy-duty labor that he has been doing at the company. Meva stated that the presence of the Labour Ministry is lacking in the country. Maria suggests the company should do something about this matter. Pete says an employer can never force an employee to do a task. Ho Chi Minh is of the opinion that workers are suffering. Fellow said labour inspectors and worker representatives are sleeping. That is all from Comments Corner. Be sure to engage on our stories on our social media pages for broadcast on News on One. Time now for Sport on One. Currently ranked third in the Debmarine Premiership, the Live Fighters Football Club lost 2-0 against the University of Namibia Football Club on Saturday. However, the team drew against Tura Magic on Sunday in Windhoek. This led to the club to lose out on much-needed points to progress in the league.
Live Fighters have 26 points in the league, which is just 1 point behind second-placed Okahanja United. Furthermore, African Stars lead the league table with 41 points in just 15 matches played. Live Fighters captain Devon Somseb expressed that he is content with the team's performance on Sunday against Tura Magic compared to the defeat on Saturday against UNAM.
Yesterday and today, the one of yesterday was more compact. Our opponents were more compact compared to the ones of today, whereby you had individual brilliance from both teams. It was open game, so if one team made a mistake, the other one would grasp the opportunity and score. But at the end of the day, the points were shared, and we are grateful for the 1 point. And we go back to the notice board and work on it from here.
In addition, the Live Fighters coach Agnes Elemu told Sport on One that his defeat against UNAM was a result of trying to understand how UNAM played, and as a result, he was forced to play a tactical game.
We picked up something from yesterday's game. Yesterday's game was a lot tactical. It was a lot of knowing who is doing what and who is not doing this. And from the beginning, we have to understand what UNAM was doing. But in a nutshell, I think we competed, and at the end of the day, yes, they got the goals. They got the goals, but I think we had some patches where we looked better. We had some patches where we pressed them that they couldn't resist. Yeah, the boys did well yesterday.
African Stars FC remain on top of the league table with 41 points after a 1-0 win against Young African FC in Hopabes on Saturday.
That is all the sport news we had for you. Please stay tuned for the weather forecast. We have come to the end of tonight's edition of News on One. Don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms. From me, Maggie Forciero, and the rest of the team, till next time, it's good night.
The International University of Management, a Namibian university dedicated to its people's future, a hub of abundant opportunities.
We are IUM.